Good morning everybody, my name is Wes Davies. Welcome back to another video. I'm actually really excited today because I'm all the way in the north of Taiwan in a little town called Luzhou, which is just west of Taipei City. And we're here for a very special and traditional event called Guoxingjiao. Today, the most important part of this is something called Sudangao, which means the raising of the bamboo pole. So that's what we're doing here. You can see everybody busy working away in the background. The whole community has come together today to help out with this event. And if you just stick with me a little bit longer, I will tell you some of the history. Everyone is being so friendly to me. Let's go inside and see what we're up to. So I'm just trying not to get in the way here. Everyone is very busy, as you can see behind me. I'll tell you a little bit of the history of this event. In 1809, there was actually a big problem over in Danshui. The people of this area sent their soldiers over to help with a pirate problem. I guess they were having issues with the pirates in this region. So this whole community, this Luzhou community, sent a bunch of soldiers up there to help out fend off the pirates. But while they were up there, another neighboring village came to attack this place while the soldiers were away. So when they heard about this, some of the soldiers from Danshui actually came back because at that time in this village, there were only women and children left and they were vastly outnumbered. They thought all was lost. So they actually prayed to Guoxingye, also known as Zhen Chenggong, who's kind of a famous historical figure in Taiwan. And against all odds, these small group of soldiers were able to fend off the enemy and save the village. So as a way to kind of honor Guoxingye and his soldiers for miraculously saving Luzhou, the village here, they promised that every 3 years they would hold this very special event, which is raising this giant bamboo pole that you can see behind me, and at the end they're going to put a flag on top. So the idea is basically that this bamboo pole is tall enough, it will rise above all of the surrounding buildings. That way Guoxingye and his soldiers will be able to see it from a distance and recognize that they are being invited to a huge feast which is going to take place about 14 days from now. So an important part of this ceremony is actually the food here, because the idea is that the entire community comes together to help put all this together, and so this is kind of a way of thanking everybody for their help. So we've got a huge pot of meatball stew, looks like there's some cilantro in there, lots of different vegetables, and then we also have the sticky rice. So I'm really looking forward to trying some very traditional Luzhou food. So yeah, you can see the stew is just chock full of these delicious looking meatballs. Looks like some eggs in kind of a thick soup, maybe some garlic and celery as well. It looks really good. And put some fresh cilantro on top here. Yeah, look at that, that's beautiful. So he's convincing me to put some lajao onto the soup here, and that looks really nice. Okay, so after a long morning, lots of hard work being done around here, finally time to enjoy the soup. And actually, they let me know I wasn't supposed to mix the rice with the stew. You're supposed to eat them separately, but I'm sorry, I'm a Canadian, I'm not used to all these really wonderful little traditions that they have around here, so every day I'm learning. That's one thing I love about living in Taiwan. There's always something new to experience. Okay, so these gentlemen are being so nice to me today. They told me I was handsome, actually, so that was really nice to hear. I don't hear that often these days. And they were wondering if I had a Taiwanese wife. You know, I'm 36 years old. They thought I was a little bit old. Maybe I should settle down. So, you know, we're all eating together and we're laughing and they're giving me some life advice, which is really cool. And then one of them came over and gave me a can of, said it's a very traditional Taiwanese drink, which is asparagus juice. Wow, that's really good, actually. How? That is nice. So it's just super interesting for me coming here and seeing just the amount of skill that these people have. Like you can see they're very hard at work weaving these ropes together. Everything is done by hand or using primitive tools like knives and hammers. And these guys are really taking this very seriously. You can see them up there just working away here in the hot sun of Luzhou. I wish I was half as talented as these guys. I wouldn't know what to do with this if my life depended on it. So you can see there's obviously years and years of experience being put into this event. And as I said, everybody's just working together to kind of create this magic here. So part of the process is after they weave together these ropes, they soak them in water and then put them up to dry. I believe that helps like solidify the rope, make it even stronger, because obviously you're gonna need something very strong to hold up this massive bamboo pole. All right, I believe that we're getting closer and closer to the raising of this bamboo pole here. They've actually gone down and stuffed spirit money in between the ropes. I believe that helps to make it sacred and to give the flagpole a blessing. And there's also a gentleman here who's been walking around with a brass container, I would call it a thurible maybe, full of incense. Yeah, you can see it right there. So he's actually been walking around with it, purifying not only the bamboo pole, but also the logs over here, even the crane itself. Okay, so the moment has finally arrived. They've actually hooked the crane up to the log here. And yeah, I think this is the moment of truth. We're gonna see them actually raise this pole into the air. It's very, very exciting. There's a bit of a crowd gathering here, and everyone's hard work from today is finally paying off. There we go. All right, so that was a very exciting part of the process, the ceremony. And what you can see here behind me, they're trying to make the pole as straight as possible. They're trying to balance it. And you can actually see there's some paper money underneath. And that serves two purposes. The first purpose is that it makes it easier to slide the pole as they try to straighten it up. And the second purpose is kind of a sign of respect. They don't want the pole to actually touch the ground or touch the concrete. So it's just been amazing to see everybody working together here, trying to accomplish the singular goal of getting this flagpole as straight as possible. You can see they're doing a fantastic job so far. Everybody is working so hard, and it's just been really an amazing experience today, seeing this very, very local tradition, this local custom here in Luzhou. So I cannot wait to see the finished product once they complete their task of getting that flagpole as straight as possible. Okay, what an exciting morning. That was honestly so much fun. So interesting to see all that preparation come together into that kind of magnificent pole raising. Just taking a little bit of a break for lunch, decided to explore a little bit of Luzhou. So come to one of the most famous restaurants in the town called Luzhou Chilami. And that's a little bit hard for me to say because it's actually in Taiwanese. This is a very old and traditional part of town. And this is their most famous dish here, which is the chilami. And mi means noodles in Taiyu, in Taiwanese. So we've got a feast in front of us. Got some cuttlefish. We've got some jugan, which is of course the pork liver, served with ginger, and then we've got the sliced pork, which looks like it's been braised for quite a while. So I've got to say thank you to the restaurant for hosting us today, and I cannot wait to try the food. It looks and smells so great. Here are the famous noodles, the chilami. Let's give that a try. Yeah, that's actually really nice. The broth is super flavorful. It's full of garlic, and then tons and tons of these chives. Yeah, the noodles are perfectly well done. They're very nicely cooked, nice and bouncy, very delicious. I really like that one. All right, that was such a fantastic lunch. I loved how traditional it felt in there, and you can tell that the Laoban and all the staff really put a lot of care and effort into their food. Everything was fresh and delicious. Now, we are going to head to a very small shop on this street, which specializes, believe it or not, in making shoes for the gods. So that sounds really interesting to me. Let's go check it out. Okay, I didn't know that this kind of shop existed, making shoes for the gods, so learn something new every day. Wow, these are so interesting. Really? Very nice, very nice. All right, so I'm in one of the most interesting shops that I've probably ever seen in Taiwan. This is the shop of a cobbler, and not just any cobbler. As I mentioned outside, this particular cobbler, he makes shoes and boots for the gods. I mean, that just sounds incredible to me. I didn't know that was a profession. All these amazing, colorful boots and shoes just littering the shop here, and it's all for the temples, it's all for the gods, and when the situation arises, it's also for people. So, you know, the people who maintain the temples, also the people who are gonna march down the street in the parades that these temples often have. And you can just see the design on this shoe. I believe this one is called a longxie. So a dragon boot, and you can see why, just this gorgeous, intricate, threaded dragon design here on this boot. Absolutely wonderful. And I asked him, you know, who makes the design? He said it's all him. He does it all from scratch. So well made. And he actually let me try on a pair. And quite frankly, I am loving these boots. They just feel so comfortable, and I've just been walking around the store. Really, really wonderful to see that this kind of tradition is still very much alive and well here in Luzhou. Thank you very much to the Laoban, to the shop owners. This has been a very, very special treat coming here today. I've come here to the inner sanctum of this temple here. Absolutely gorgeous temple. Like, it's one of the largest and most beautifully decorated temples I've seen in Taiwan. This part of the temple is dedicated to Guo Xingya, who is also known as Zhenchen Gong, who the Shu Dangao celebrations were honoring today. I can't believe I'm learning all these new words and new names today. This is honestly so much fun. Everyone is being so nice to me today. They brought me up to, I think, the 3rd or 4th floor of the temple, brought me into this really magical room where there is actually, behind glass, a statue of Guanziying. Apparently it's either made of gold or plated in gold, and it's worth over 3 billion Taiwan dollars. Yeah, so I feel very privileged today to be getting this almost like private tour of this temple. Really, really enjoying it here. Wonderful tour of the temple here, and thank you to the lady who showed us around. She was very, very friendly and knowledgeable, and I really enjoyed listening to her explain the history of the temple and the history of the Shu Dangao celebration that we're a part of today. And thank you for the temple again for inviting me here. Really, really lovely place if you guys are in this part of New Taipei City. All right, we are in a different section of the city, and this morning we got to witness the very first pole being risen. This afternoon, this will be the 2nd pole. So over the course of the next 7 days, there will be a total of 14 bamboo poles raised throughout the city, and then they're going to wait a total of 15 days. Each day, people will come and bye-bye at these poles. So yeah, really excited to see this part of the ceremony. It's kind of interesting. We showed up, there were a bunch of junior high school students, and you can tell that they're really absorbing all of this tradition, this history of their town. And I even saw some of them taking notes. I'm sure the teacher is probably going to be testing them on some of this knowledge later on. So yeah, it's really, really cool to see this the 2nd time today, and again, I cannot wait to see how this one is different from the last one, but we all know where this pole is going, straight up into the air. Okay, another successful flag raising right here downtown Luzhou. And I just really think it's great that the government officials are kind of doing this, supporting these kinds of amazing traditional events. And I was so happy to be a part of this event. I've never seen anything like it, even though I've been living in Taiwan for more than 4 years now. But again, I'm here learning new things every single day. And of course, I would like to say Shinkula to all the people who helped out at this event, who helped make it such a success. Everyone did a great job. Everyone was working super, super hard today. And if you do want to learn more information about this event, you can search for保庇新北市, so the new Taipei City. I will link to the Facebook group right down below. I encourage you to go check that out. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video as usual. Again, don't be afraid to look at the information down in the description, learn more about this fascinating event, more about the local history here in Luzhou. So thanks guys, and I will see you later. Bye bye. If you want to win some cool prizes, leave a comment below with the keyword Taiwan Tradition. I'll choose 20 winners. Good luck.